Watch my hand. I'm gonna do this with one hand only. Whenever you feel like that the Jack of Hearts is the card, you say stop, okay? I'm gonna keep dealing with one hand. Go ahead.
Stop.
Right here. Mm-hmm. And that's the Jack of Hearts.
The Ellen DeGeneres Show, magician Shin Lim is making his first major American television appearance. He's already famous in magic circles, having won multiple international competitions. But Ellen's audience doesn't know him yet. And Ellen herself has a reputation for being skeptical of magic tricks. Shin performs a card routine, elegant, silent, beautifully choreographed. Cards appear, vanish, transform in his hands with seemingly impossible precision.
Think of any random card. Maybe let's make it like a number card, that way you can see your signature. Go ahead.
10 of hearts.
10 of hearts, okay, cool. Let's just look for that.
The audience applauds. Ellen smiles, but immediately goes into skeptic mode. Okay, so that was impressive, but I mean it's sleight of hand, right? Quick fingers. Ellen's tone isn't mean, but it's dismissive, like she's seen through everything. Shin stays calm, smiles politely. Ellen continues, "Can you do something where I'm holding the cards, where I know you can't trick me?" The audience laughs. They're on Ellen's side. She's representing their skepticism. Shin nods. "Sure, absolutely." He hands Ellen a deck of cards. She shuffles them herself. On camera, no possibility of a set-up deck. Ellen is clearly trying to maintain control. She's not hostile, but she's making it clear she won't be fooled easily. Shin asks Ellen to pick any card, look at it, and place it back in the deck anywhere she wants. She does. The 7 of diamonds. She shows it to the camera, but not to Shin, places it back in the middle of the deck. Shin never touches the cards. Now Ellen is holding the entire deck. Shin asks her to spread the cards face down on the table. She does. All the cards are face down except one, a single card face up in the middle of the spread. Ellen picks it up. It's her card, the 7 of diamonds. Ellen's expression changes completely. "Wait, how did you—" She looks at the other cards, checks if they're all different. They are. The audience erupts in applause. Ellen is genuinely stunned. "That's impossible. I was holding the cards the entire time." Shin just smiles, doesn't gloat, doesn't explain. Ellen tries to recover. "Okay, you got me. That was actually incredible. But the damage is done. The skeptic has been humbled, and it's all on camera." The clip went viral with over 20 million views on YouTube. Comments praised Shin for handling Ellen's skepticism perfectly. No ego, no attitude, just pure skill that spoke for itself. Magic channels analyzed the routine, noting that Shin specifically chose a trick that removed all possible accusations of camera tricks or editing. Ellen invited Shin back multiple times after that first appearance. Their dynamic shifted completely. She stopped trying to expose him and started genuinely appreciating his artistry. That first performance became legendary in magic circles as a masterclass in handling skeptical hosts. The beauty of Shin's approach was the silence. He didn't argue, didn't explain himself, didn't get defensive. He just let his hands do the talking. And when Ellen herself was holding the cards and still got fooled, there was nothing left to say. The skill spoke louder than any words could.
"The last few things you did, we have no idea how you did them because we were just enjoying it too much and you fooled us."
Penn and Teller fool us, the magic competition show where magicians try to fool two of the most knowledgeable magicians in the world. If Penn and Teller can't figure out the method, the performer wins a spot in their Las Vegas show. A magician named Kostya Kimlet performs a card routine. He brings Penn onto the stage to participate. But instead of treating Penn like a regular volunteer, Kostya acknowledges exactly who he is. "Penn, you've been doing magic for 40 years. You know every card trick. You've probably forgotten more about magic than most people will ever learn." Penn chuckles. The audience laughs. It's a respectful but bold opening. Kostya continues, "So I'm not going to try to fool you with moves. I'm going to fool you with something else entirely." The routine begins. Kostya has Penn shuffle the deck. Penn inspects it thoroughly. He's not going easy. He's actively looking for gimmicks. Finding none, he hands it back. Kostya performs what appears to be a simple trick. Penn picks a card. It vanishes. It reappears. Nothing special. Penn looks unimpressed. His body language screams, "I know exactly how you did that. Basic sleight of hand. Good execution, but nothing fooling." Then Kostya adds the kicker. "Penn, when did you realize your card had changed?" Penn looks confused. "What do you mean?" Kostya asks Penn to look at the card he's holding. Penn looks down. His expression shifts completely. It's not the card he selected, it's a completely different card. Penn checks his pockets instinctively. The original card he selected is in his jacket pocket. He has absolutely no memory of Kostya getting anywhere near his pocket, no memory of the switch, nothing. The audience gasps. Teller is grinning from the side of the stage. After the performance, Penn and Teller deliberate. They speak in their coded language so as not to expose methods to the audience. Penn admits they have theories about the card change, but the pocket moment has them completely stumped. They reluctantly award Kostya the trophy. He fooled them. In the post-show interview, Penn says something revealing. "You didn't fool us with difficulty. You fooled us with boldness. That's actually harder."
I want to say right up front, I hate you. Let's get that out of the way. There is a bias here.
Kostya's approach wasn't to out-technique the experts, it was to subvert their expectations entirely. Think about what just happened. Penn knows thousands of card tricks. He's performed for decades. He's seen everything. And Kostya walked up to him, acknowledged that expertise, and still managed to fool him. Not by being more technical, but by being more creative. By attacking from an angle Penn wasn't expecting. The episode has millions of views on YouTube. Magicians study it obsessively because it demonstrates a crucial principle. Sometimes the best way to handle experts isn't to compete on their terms, but to change the game entirely. Penn expected complex sleight of hand. Kostya gave him psychological misdirection instead. The humbling wasn't aggressive, it was respectful. Kostya never gloated, never acted superior. He simply demonstrated that even the most knowledgeable people can be surprised when someone approaches a problem differently. That's the kind of humbling that earns respect rather than resentment. Instagram Live during quarantine. David Blaine is doing a live magic session. Thousands of viewers watching from their homes. He's performing tricks through the camera, asking viewers to participate remotely. It's experimental and genuinely impressive. Then the comments section turns toxic. One user keeps spamming the same message over and over. "This is fake. Camera tricks, not real magic. You're a fraud." Other users pile on. The negativity floods the screen. David could ignore it. Most performers would. Instead, he addresses it head on. "Okay, I see some people saying everything is camera tricks. Fair enough. Let me do something where that's literally impossible." David asks viewers to grab a deck of cards if they have one at home. Thousands of people scramble to find cards. He waits patiently while viewers get ready. David instructs everyone to shuffle their own decks, at home, in their own hands. No way for him to control anything. He can't touch the cards, can't see them, can't manipulate them through the screen. Multiple viewers comment confirming their shuffling. David has viewers select a random card from their shuffled deck. "Don't show me, just remember it. Look at it in your own home and remember it." Multiple viewers comment their selected cards in real time. 3 of clubs, King of hearts, Ace of spades, all different cards from different people. Then David does something that breaks every rule of logic. He asks all the viewers to spread their decks face down on their tables at home. Look through your cards. Look for any card that feels different, slightly off. Just trust your instinct. Multiple viewers respond in the comments immediately. "Wait! What? One card in my deck is face up." Several others confirm the exact same thing. "My deck has one face-up card too." How is that possible? They flip over the face-up cards. It's the card they selected. Each person's individually chosen card from their personally shuffled deck is face-up. The card that only they knew. The card David never saw, never touched, never had any access to. Face up in their own deck. The comments section absolutely explodes. "What the hell? How? No way. This is impossible." The skeptics go completely silent. The user who was spamming about camera tricks and fraud, they comment, "Okay, you got me. That's actually insane. I have no explanation." David doesn't gloat, doesn't mock them, just smiles at the camera. Sometimes the best way to prove something is to remove every possible explanation except the impossible one. Thanks for keeping me honest. The video clip from that Instagram Live has been shared millions of times across platforms. Magicians debate the method endlessly. Some think it's probability and suggestion. Others think it's more complex, but the effect on the audience is undeniable. David took the most hostile skeptic and turned them into a believer using their own deck of cards in their own home. The genius of this moment wasn't just the trick, it was the setup. David specifically chose a method that eliminated every criticism the skeptic could make. No camera tricks because the cards were in viewers' homes. No sleight of hand because he never touched anything. No stooges because thousands of random viewers participated. He systematically removed every excuse until all that remained was genuine wonder. That's how you humble a skeptic without being cruel. You don't attack them, you don't mock them. You simply perform something so clean, so impossible to explain away, that they have no choice but to admit they were wrong.
I am petrified. You are thinking, "Cat, the coin is here. Turn it over, open it up." Yes, 2 out of 2, ladies and gentlemen.
Britain's Got Talent. A mentalist named Colin Cloud is auditioning. Mentalism is controversial in magic circles because skeptics often dismiss it as either fake psychic claims or simple cold reading. Colin walks onto stage and immediately faces resistance from Judge Simon Cowell. Simon has a reputation for being the harshest critic on the show. He interrupts Colin before the act even starts. Let me guess, you're going to tell me you can read minds? Colin smiles. Something like that. Simon rolls his eyes. I've seen 1,000 mentalists. They're all the same. This better be good. The audience is tense. Simon has just set up Colin to fail. If the act is anything less than perfect, Simon will tear it apart. Colin doesn't look worried. He asks Simon to think of a playing card. Any card. Don't tell anyone. Just think of it clearly. Simon thinks for a moment, nods. Colin asks Simon to imagine the card vividly. Picture the suit, the number or face, everything about it. Simon does. His expression is skeptical, but he's playing along. Colin concentrates, closes his eyes, then opens them and looks directly at Simon. You're thinking of the 9 of diamonds. Simon's face freezes. The audience gasps. That's correct. Simon's voice has changed. The dismissive tone is gone. How did you do that? Colin doesn't explain. Instead, he pushes further. Simon, I want you to think of a word. Any word. Something personal to you. Something meaningful, Simon thinks. His expression is guarded now. He's not playing along anymore. He's genuinely trying to protect his thoughts. Colin stares at Simon. The tension is incredible. Then Colin writes something on a piece of paper without showing anyone. He folds it and hands it to another judge. Alicia Dixon. Alicia, hold this, but don't open it yet. Colin turns back to Simon. What word were you thinking of? Simon hesitates. The audience is silent. Finally, Simon speaks. Terrier. It's a dog breed. My dog. Colin nods. Alicia, open the paper. Alicia unfolds it and shows it to the camera. Written clearly. Terrier. The audience erupts. The judges are stunned. Simon Cowell, the man who mocks everyone, sits back in his chair with his mouth open. That's impossible. Absolutely impossible. Colin just smiles. Is it? The act continues with even more impossible revelations. By the end, Simon is completely humbled. He admits on camera that he has no explanation, that it's one of the best acts he's ever seen, that Colin has genuinely impressed him, which rarely happens. Colin advances to the next round with all 4 judges voting yes. The clip becomes one of the most viewed auditions in Britain's Got Talent history. Comments flood in praising Colin for shutting down Simon's skepticism so thoroughly that even Simon had to admit defeat. What makes this moment special is the power dynamic. Simon Cowell is used to being in control. He's used to intimidating performers. He sets the tone, but Colin refused to be intimidated. He took Simon's skepticism and used it as fuel, made Simon the center of the act, and then blew his mind so completely that Simon couldn't maintain his superior attitude. The lesson here is about confidence. Colin didn't get defensive when Simon dismissed him, didn't argue or plead. He simply proceeded with absolute certainty that his skills would speak for themselves. And they did. Sometimes the best response to disrespect is to be so undeniably good that the critic has no choice but to acknowledge it. A live performance in Las Vegas. Magician Criss Angel is performing his street magic show. He approaches a group of college-age guys who are clearly drunk and rowdy. They're laughing, making jokes, not taking anything seriously. Criss asks if they want to see something impossible. One of the guys, clearly the loudest of the group, responds mockingly, "Yeah, right, man, we know it's all fake. Camera tricks and actors. Show us something real." His friends laugh and high-five him. Criss doesn't react defensively. "All right, let's make this interesting." Criss pulls out a regular Sharpie marker, asks the loud guy to write his name on it. The guy does, scribbling his signature along the side of the marker. Criss shows the marker to the camera and the friend group. Everyone confirms it's the same marker with that specific signature. Criss hands the signed marker to one of the other friends. "Hold this, don't let it out of your sight." The friend clutches it tightly. Criss addresses the loud, skeptical guy. "What's your girlfriend's name?" The guy laughs. "Sarah." "Why?" Criss asks for Sarah's phone number. The guy is suspicious but gives it. Criss pulls out his phone and calls the number on speaker. A girl answers. "Hello?" Criss introduces himself. "Hi Sarah, I'm with your boyfriend right now in Vegas. He says I'm a fake magician. I want to show him something. Is that cool?" Sarah sounds confused but intrigued. Sure?" Criss asks Sarah to go to her purse or bag wherever she keeps her makeup. Sarah says, "Okay." There's a pause as she walks somewhere. The boyfriend is confused. His friends are watching intently. Sarah comes back on the line. "Okay, I'm looking at my makeup bag." Criss asks her to look for a Sharpie marker. Sarah pauses. "Wait, there is a Sharpie here. I don't usually carry markers. That's weird." Criss asks her to check if there's anything written on it. Sarah reads out loud. It says, and she reads the boyfriend's signature. The exact name he wrote on the marker 30 seconds ago. The boyfriend's face goes white. "Check your hand," Criss says to the friend holding the marker. The friend opens his hand. The marker is gone. The boyfriend grabs his phone from Criss. "Sarah, is that really my handwriting?" Sarah confirms. "Yeah, it looks exactly like how you sign things. I'm looking at it right now." How did this get here? The boyfriend is speechless. His friends are losing their minds. Chris never gloats, never says I told you so. He just smiles. Still think it's camera tricks? The boyfriend shakes his head, genuinely humbled. Man, I'm sorry, that's insane. I got no explanation. Chris shakes his hand. No worries, just keep an open mind. The footage from this interaction shows a perfect example of how to handle aggressive skepticism. The boyfriend wasn't just doubting, he was mocking, dismissive, trying to diminish Chris in front of his friends. Chris could have gotten defensive or refused to perform for them. Instead, he used their skepticism against them. By involving the girlfriend who was miles away, Chris eliminated every possible explanation the skeptics could use. No camera tricks because the marker appeared in a location Chris couldn't access. No sleight of hand because the friend was holding it. No plants or actors because it was the guy's actual girlfriend on her own phone. The trick was structured specifically to dismantle every excuse. The viral clip has millions of views with comments praising Chris for staying calm and professional while completely destroying the skeptic's confidence. The best revenge isn't arguing. It's being so good at what you do that the critics have to eat their words. 5 magicians, 5 moments of disrespect met with undeniable skill. 5 times professionals proved that the best response to skepticism isn't defensiveness, but excellence. Shin Lim handled Ellen's dismissiveness by letting her control every aspect of the trick and still fooling her completely. Kostya Kimrat acknowledged Penn's expertise and then fooled him anyway by changing the game. David Blaine addressed online trolls by performing a trick so clean that even the harshest skeptic had to admit defeat. Colin Cloud faced Simon Cowell's legendary cruelty and turned it into his greatest strength. Chris Angel transformed mocking college kids into believers by eliminating every possible explanation for his trick. The common thread through all these moments is confidence without arrogance. None of these magicians got angry. None of them argued or made excuses. They simply performed at such a high level that the criticism became irrelevant. Their skills spoke louder than any words could. This is what separates elite performers from amateurs. Anyone can get defensive when criticized. Anyone can argue with skeptics. But truly great performers understand that the best response is to be so undeniably good that even the doubters have to acknowledge it. The magic community studies these interactions because they represent perfect professionalism under pressure. When someone dismisses the craft, performers don't lower themselves to that level. They raise their performance to a level that can't be dismissed. They remove every excuse, eliminate every explanation, and leave critics with nothing but respect. These moments also reveal something about skepticism itself. Most skeptics aren't bad people. They're just protecting themselves from being fooled. They've been disappointed before, or they pride themselves on being logical. The goal isn't to make them feel stupid. The goal is to give them an experience so amazing that they're happy to not understand it. That's the real magic. Not the tricks themselves, but the transformation from skeptic to believer, from disrespect to genuine appreciation. These 5 magicians didn't just perform tricks, they changed minds. If this showed something important about handling criticism with skill instead of anger, subscribe right now. Next week explores the psychology behind magic tricks, how magicians manipulate attention, the science of misdirection, why brains fall for illusions even when knowing what's happening. Drop a comment below. Which moment was the most satisfying? Shin Lim fooling Ellen? Colin Cloud humbling Simon Cowell? Or David Blaine shutting down internet trolls? Share thoughts on how these magicians handled disrespect. Hit that like button for more analysis of legendary magic moments, the performances that changed everything, the skills that silenced critics, the professionals who let their work speak for itself. And remember, the best response to someone who doesn't believe in what's being done isn't to argue, it's to be so good at it that they have no choice but to believe. That's not just magic, that's mastery. See you in the next one.